It's time for Al to get very scared.
Tee.
Because we played a scary video game.
I've never been scared a day in my life.
It's true.
I am so tough and nothing ever scares me.
Al is incredibly tough.
Yeah.
The toughest out here.
Yeah.
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 Yes, hello, welcome to this week's episode of the seasonal anime Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga. Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Lady
Hello.
This is episode number 466, and we're going to talk about Silent Hilf. Hilf. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Pretty sure.
Silent
Hill.
This is the latest Silent Hill video game. They put another one of those out. And we played it. Well, I played it and Al watched, but, same difference. I played through it and Al just got to yell a lot and make yelps and say things at the enemies.
Lady.
Not the legs.
Legs.
That was Al's defense against anything that would come out and try to attack us because of the way the little mannequin enemies that are kind of like the general enemies you fight through the game, just lady. Anytime she would get jump scared. Good times.
How dare them? How dare they? Lady.
So yeah, we played through this.
You played through it. I watched.
We got all the endings.
We did.
Now we can finally talk about the 1960s Japan and how women retreated.
Yay!
So yeah, this game came out on September the 25th of last year, this year, for the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And yeah, this is the latest Silent Hill game. Of course, the big thing about this game is that it was written by Ryokushi Zero Nana, the dude behind the Higurashi series and the Umineko series. So having them tied to this was an interesting thing to see, because obviously they're more known for the visual novel style types of games, and this is a bigger game than what they are probably known for. So it's going to be interesting to see how those two things would mesh together, and it seemed like it went out pretty well.
So
this has some 80s on the Metacritic and an 87% recommended, with an average score of 86 on the OpenCritic.
Wow.
It sold over 1 million units on its first day of release. It is now the fastest selling game in the Silent Hill series.
Even beating the remake of 2?
I guess so.
Wow, that's impressive.
So there you go. This is my first Silent Hill video game.
Ever? Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Whoa. I did not realize that.
Now you know.
Wow.
Let's talk a little bit about the development of this game.
Okay.
And there's also some themes we should dive into, because some of them we were like both kind of curious about, and this has a little bit about some of the themes and everything.
Oh, good.
This game was built around the Japanese horror concept of finding the terror in beauty, suggesting that when something becomes too immensely beautiful and perfect, it becomes deeply unsettling. Konami enlisted writer Ryokushi Zero Nana, known for his visual novel Higurashi When They Cry, as they believed they needed someone who could really understand the essence of Japanese horror. Even though the game was conceived as a standalone story, the developers included references to previous Silent Hill games, like a dog. While the
Well,
series
there was a few other ones too, but
while the series originally blended Japanese and Western horror elements, Konami felt that it had become overly westernized, diminishing its Japanese influence. Consequently, the team decided to create Silent Hill F as 100% Japanese horror, emphasizing its Japanese essence, which they regarded as central to the series despite the story usually taking place in the United States. Shifting the setting from the titular town to Japan posed a challenge as the developers aimed to maintain the series' core themes of portraying character struggles with the evil within themselves, sin, discontent, frustration, and conflict.
mm-hmm.
The game setting of Ebisugaoka was inspired by the Kanayama area of Giro Gifu. Ryokushi Zero Nana suggested Kanayama after comparing various locations, saying that its extremely unique townscape reflected the passage of time and the way its structures had evolved alongside residents' lifestyles. The team visited Kanayama to photograph modern sites and used reference materials to authentically recreate the 1960s setting. Ryokushi Zero Nana noted that female characters in the previous Silent Hill games endured significant suffering. While Silent Hill F, with Silent Hill F, he sought to create the protagonist, Hinako Shimizu, who actively makes her own choices rather than being pulled along by the story. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't.
Yeah. She also does go through significant suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Artist Kira aimed for a visual style distinct from the blood-smeared, rusting scenery of previous installments when retaining a sense of familiarity. She remarked that the most challenging aspect was monster creations, as the team wanted to combine Ryokushi Zero Nana's vision with Kira's design, creating monsters that would really infiltrate players' psyches, like Lady and
Legs,
Legs. You know,
Men,
men.
Speedy Boy.
Speedy Boy's a real jerk.
Yeah, he sucks.
Real rude, that guy.
He's a speedy boy.
So
Gotta go fast.
yeah, they made a Silent Hill game.
Uh-huh.
A Silent Hill period piece, you might say.
Yes, yes.
Which I think definitely was one of the things that made me interested in this game, just like, because, you know, it's not often you get these kind of like period piece games, and especially with this kind of setting and, you know, the genre and everything, it's an interesting collaboration of things, and that made me interested despite having never played a Silent Hill game before.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we played through this game. We bonked a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
We got to meet the Fox Man.
What were the themes you were talking about?
Oh, of course, the red flowers is one of those that you wanted to know about.
Oh, yes, I did.
The red spider lilies, or the flowers
Oh,
that are seen throughout the game.
did not know that's what they were called.
Flowers could be considered symbols of generalized effeminacy, chastity, and innocence, with the contrast being that the higanbana is a symbol of death and grief.
Oh.
That's the plant.
Mm-hmm.
Initially mirroring the initial conflict in Hinako. The imagery of bodily invasion and decay as Hinako and Sakako are consumed by the red spider lilies and turn into Shiramuku may indicate how she feels consumed by patriarchal expectations, not only to be a wife, but also a mother.
Mudda.
The flowers may also perpetuate the symbolic submission to patriarchy as they blind Kimi Shimizu, Hinako's mother, and several feminine monsters who attack Hinako throughout the game.
Oh.
They can also symbolize seasonal change or transient characteristics, which may allude to the red spider lilies as a symbol of death and rebirth, whether that be through a change in the Inari faith practiced by Ebisugaoka from one relic to another, or Hinako's marriage.
Oh.
The red color may also have other connotations.
Yep.
So yeah, there you go. They were spooky flowers.
Yeah. They were spooky flowers.
I do like under the red capsules, it talks about how this may also be in reference to the Matrix, where the red pill represents enlightenment and acceptance of harsh truths about realities, which may be in contrast to men's rights and incel movements.
I like to. Sure. Um, there's implications that these are like somewhat tied back to the other Silent Hill games, but sure, men's rights and incels.
Well, I mean, that's like the modern sense of being
No, no,
red
no,
pilled
no.
is probably what they're going for,
No,
but
I get it. It's just
it's
it's
very funny to
funny.
see it there.
It is funny, especially in the context of 1960s
Yeah.
lady.
Lady.
Lady. Well, they sometimes would walk out and give you the razzle dazzle
They would
and
give me the
scare
razzle
me.
dazzle, and I'd be like, bunk, bunk, bunk.
They scared me. They had sometimes they'd stick their butts out.
They sure would.
I was like, lady, goodness, put that away.
Lady.
Lady. Um, yeah. We meet a fox man. And he makes us go through some trials that totally aren't anything significant or important.
No, definitely not.
No, definitely not symbolic of anything.
I do think it's interesting that because of the way the game goes through its multiple endings, which I know is something that like other Silent Hill games do as well, but like
Hmm.
the way this does it, it really kind of like showcases like the true meaning behind the overall story as you progress through each individual story or each individual ending and everything, so you kind of get more of an understanding of exactly what's going on, because at first you're kind of just like, well, this is all weird and funky and high school girl going through and killing monsters and having a bad time. This is all weird, and you kind of start to realize, oh, well, this is not every what you are seeing on the screen may not be exactly what's happening.
What? Yeah, they all build on each other basically to get like a more holistic understanding of what's actually happening
Yeah.
to Hinako.
Mm-hmm. And that also like coincides with the fact that like through your significant playthroughs you'll gain more like little like notes and stuff that will portray to that specific ending you're going to, but also again unlock more of like the overall arching story and like the backstory of everything that's going on and like what exactly is actually happening.
The
The
lore.
lore.
Love me some lore.
So yeah, it just turns from high school girl dealing with a lot of bad stuff to gal who's trying to figure out if she wants to get married or not.
Yeah, and is afraid of like losing her own identity by doing so.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the 1960s, of course, so it's not like
She's not wrong.
she's not wrong, and especially this being set in Japan and everything, to where women weren't exactly held to the same standard as men in basically every shape or form. So
Hmm.
it was just like it was definitely an interesting way to take the themes of that era and place them into this horror game,
Hmm.
and make it so it all makes sense in a way as you're going through it and going through beating up all the spooky ladies and legs and men and
Speedy boys.
speedy boys and
Sometimes dads.
giant pregnant ladies
Ugh. I don't like the pregnant ladies.
get bonked.
They look gross.
Yeah.
Not that like pregnant ladies in general look gross, but this pregnant lady in particular has like 30 pregnant bellies on her.
Mm-hmm.
And also like a man under her
And then spits out
stuff.
monsters.
Yeah, gross.
Badoof, badoof.
Icky.
Icky. But yeah, I really thought it was interesting just to see how everything came together, especially because like when we get that first ending from like the first playthrough, like everything seems incredibly terrible and all that. You're just like, what the heck
Yep.
is happening? And
Yep.
then the subsequent endings where you start to get more information and everything, it's like, okay, I understand what is actually happening here. Things aren't necessarily great, but it's more coming to an understanding of things. Hey, don't take the spooky pills. That's bad for you.
Don't let your friend drug you.
Don't let your friend drug you.
Friends don't let friends get drugged.
Mm-hmm. And we get to see a lot of Hideko coming to terms with either, accepting this whole role of marriage or not accepting it, or essentially
UFOs.
coming to accept herself, and also UFOs, as you said.
Yeah, no. Sometimes there's just UFOs involved.
The UFO ending's very good.
It's very, very good.
Which is the joke ending, of course, because
Of
these
course.
games gotta
There's
have a
always the
joke
joke
ending.
ending.
But just like I love the fact that like you could just do it and like it's halfway through your playthrough, not even halfway, probably like just like a third of
A
the way
third.
through, and it's just like, all right, well, aliens are actually the ones doing all of this and everything, and,
Mm,
and then the one gal, Sakako, brings in the big
like
transformed
uh
version of Hinako that you meet at the end of the first ending, and it's just
the
like, oh
bride version.
yeah, oh, this is my robot that detects aliens.
Also, everybody dunks on Shu a lot.
Everyone dunks on Shu and he gets beat up at the end because he's an enemy to women of all of the whole
Yep.
world.
Yeah.
And I like the way that they use kind of like the like a classic manga style like of the
Hmm.
of that time period kind of.
Yes,
Um
yes. It's an older style, like anime manga style.
yeah, for this and everything, and then you get to see the little UFO with the dog piloting it, which is very good.
And then the characters sometimes will appear in the UFO with
Yep.
them. It's very good. That was a fun ending.
And then you get that cool lightsaber as well.
Yeah, you get a lightsaber and a fancy sword.
Yeah, you also get a fancy sword for the other endings as well, which does make the game a lot easier to get through because like you have these two swords that can basically regenerate when they are not in use. So you're not having to go through weapons as constantly as you are in like your first playthrough or any of that type of deal. And like, you know, being New Game Plus as well, you get to carry over all your stats and everything, all your character upgrades and your
Your perks.
omomoris, which are like your perks, like you said. So again, all that makes it a lot easier to get through. And then there's a section near the end of the game that the game just kind of like lets you skip through if you've already done it. And it's like you can just go through this. It's fine. You're not gonna miss anything. Go ahead. It's like
That's pretty
okay,
nice.
okay.
Okay. Um, yeah, it's pretty bonkers. Like the very first ending, like you're locked into getting that ending no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like Hinako has like a psychotic break and murders people.
Because of the
Oops.
pills.
The pills.
And then afterwards, it's like the game just like because the game will also tell you like give you an option or like a main menu option of just like here's the endings, and it'll give you kind of like hints of like do this and this and you'll get this ending, do this and this and you'll get this ending. And for all of the non-joke endings, it's like don't take the red pills. Play the game, finish it, do not take these pills, and
Don't take the
you'll get this
pills.
ending if you do that. Because she basically there's a scene later on where she's like, I don't need these pills anymore. Thanks, Podna.
Thanks. Um, but yeah, like you said, there's like accepting marriage. There's like the shoe ending. There's like the I don't true question mark
It is the true ending.
ending. Hmm. Which is your favorite besides UFO?
Hmm. I mean, probably the true ending because I think there's some parts in that I enjoyed the
Hmm.
most out of all the endings.
I don't like the smiling, but
Well,
yeah.
cheesing for the
Eee!
camera.
Eee!
Um, because there's a lot of that last ending where like you kind of learned that like oh like all her friends are coming together to be at this wedding and everything. They're gonna write. You see like them writing like their speeches and everything. Even though throughout the course of the game you're like killing your friends and like seeing these weird notes of like how they hate you and everything and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
But like seeing kind of like actually what's going on was interesting, and then like also like her coming to terms with her like relationship with her parents and everything.
Yes, I
I
did
thought was
appreciate that.
very interesting as well. Like she has that sit down with her mom and like they talk about like her dad and everything and like why her mom would stay with her dad throughout like all the times that he was kind of abusive and out of control and everything. And she's like, he also had some like trauma of his own from all this and all, and like, look, he did some bad stuff. I won't argue with that, but also like he ain't gonna do anything to me because he knows better. which I thought was
Yeah.
very funny.
Which reminded me of my grandma's story, and I had to tell you about
Mm-hmm.
that. 'Cause it felt very similar to me
Mm-hmm.
in that, he did things that are obviously not good, and but she's able to like keep him somewhat in line in terms of like how he behaves around
Yeah.
her-ish. I wish they'd gone a little bit more into her health issues, in
Yeah.
this one because like it's hinted at in this, but like I really wish we gotten more detail on that and like
Yeah, maybe we just didn't find like more notes or anything somehow because we kind of were speeding through the ending, the other endings.
yeah.
Um, but it is, at least from what we found, it was kind of open ended of like what she was going through because like we found at one point there was like a big old prescription list she was taking, and then there's
Hmm.
another one where like the dad's going into more debt because he's trying to, or he's potentially
Their medical costs.
thinking of getting like a surgery for his wife and everything. It's like it's not really explained exactly what that's going to be,
Hmm.
but it's the 1960s, so literally it could be anything if it's
Anything.
around mental health and all that sort of stuff. So
Well, I
the,
was wondering if it's like physical health.
again, yeah, it could also be that as well. So again, 1960s medical technology not the greatest. So again, could be
Yeah, not the
anything.
greatest. Yeah,
Um,
and it could be lobotomy for all we know.
exactly.
Ugh.
There was at one point we found the note that talked about Sakako where the doctor's like, I think she's got mild autism, and you're like,
Mild
I
autism,
don't think that's exactly what they would say in this time period, but all
especially
right.
not for a girl.
No, she's got a case of the melancholy.
Yeah, they would find some
We
goofy
gotta
way
lock
to.
her up in an institution.
Like I said, she'd probably be a candidate for a lobotomy in
Yeah,
in this case, but like, um, yeah, mild autism isn't really a thing that they would, especially again for girls at that point. But that was pretty funny.
especially for girls for the time period, but also like they're in a very small town as well. Like,
Yep, yep, yep.
what doctor in 1960s Japan that's going around to small towns is going to know what autism is and be
Right.
able to diagnose mild cases of it.
Mild cases of autism.
So yeah, that was an interesting choice there. But yeah, I do wonder exactly what that would have been with the mom and everything. Again, it
Hmm.
may have been further explained in a note that we just didn't find, but
Um, I also did appreciate like this is the one ending where we get Kodayuki being like, I do think I have
this is the
feelings for
Fox
you, but
man.
that yes, that is the Fox man. I do think I have feelings for you, but I want to be sure that they're my feelings and not like just the possession of the fox.
Yeah,
So like I appreciated that that was like a mature and good decision on his part. 'Cause it's like one of the first real times that we get like him having his own perspective on things.
yeah. I also enjoyed that because like I think both of them also like have come to like a mature agreement of like this doesn't seem like the greatest idea at least right now. Like, are our feelings actually legit? Question mark. I don't. Neither of us really know. Let's like take some time. We'll go our separate ways for now. Try and find find our actual selves, which I think is very
Hmm.
important.
Yes.
Um, and then maybe one day we can come back together and see and try it again, see if it actually is for real or if it's not. We'll figure that
Yeah,
out.
because it seems like, especially because of like letters that we find and all that, like there is some genuine affection there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think with both of them realizing like Hinako is basically being sold to him,
Yeah.
like in this one, there's at least some hesitation of like, hey, maybe we need to like slow the roll and figure this out on our own,
Mm-hmm.
which was good. I like that.
Yeah, I thought that was very good to see that and everything. Um, Another thing I enjoyed in this ending as well was that like when Hinako confronts her dad,
Hmm.
or like her dad I guess confronts her really, and like he goes to like apologize to her, and like this other version of herself is like, I don't want to hear this. Nope, I'm good. Don't want to deal with this or anything. And then like the player version of Hinako is kind of just like, look, this dude's our family and everything. You should probably at least hear him out. You don't have to do anything else. Just hear him out, hear what he has to say, and you can do whatever you want after that. Like, and I think the most important thing that Hinako tells herself here is like, you do not have to forgive this guy for what he did to
Yeah.
you. And I think that's incredibly important. And I do appreciate when stories like do that. Like, regardless of like if someone is a family member or someone incredibly close to you, like they do something that you don't like, or, you know, did something incredibly horrible to you, like, you are not obligated to forgive that person.
Right.
That's just the way it should be. And I'm glad the game and the story and the writing went in that direction instead of just kind of like copping out and be like, oh, I forgive you for you being a real dad type deal or something of that nature. And she was very adamant multiple times to herself, being like, you do not have to forgive him.
Yeah.
Just at least hear him out. That's the only thing I'm asking you to do, is hear him out, listen to it, do whatever you want. If you don't want to forgive him, you do not have to. And like, even after he gives like a nice heartfelt apology of like look, I f***ed up a lot and did some terrible things, and I was not a good dad and everything. But like, you know, Kotayuki seems like a good dude. You seem like you've got your head on your shoulders despite everything that I did and all that. And like, you know, it's a genuine apology.
Yeah.
At least, you know, from what it seems to everything. And even afterwards, she's like, look, I understand what you're saying, but again, I'm not going to forgive you for what you did. That's the key point here. And I think that's entirely fair. That is completely up to a person to decide for themselves if they want to forgive someone who has done transgressions against them, and especially in this situation. So I really enjoyed, or I thought that was really good that they made a really big emphasis on that in this section of that ending.
I agree.
And I think as well, it was important for Hinako to like deal with that and like come to terms with it as well, to like, you know, figure things out for herself moving forward as well.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who has had what's a nice way to put this? Some complicated family dynamics.
that's one way to say it.
Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah.
Um, I felt like this was good.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated, like, you know, you don't have to forgive somebody who has like really done an injustice to you. Um, but she does like at least listen to, I don't want to say his side of the story because it's not necessarily his side of the story, but like listen to his reasoning, I guess, and
Yeah.
like his apology on it, whether, you know, again, she didn't have to accept it and she didn't really, but you know, he like threw a knife in her direction. That's really f***ed up.
Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously sold her, which like
It was
that's
verbally abusive and everything, so
yeah. Um, you know, there was a lot of problems with this dynamic, and hey, toxic masculinity f***s up everybody. Woo!
hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. I do also think it's interesting that like he had indicated in this apology like that he thought that she was going to be with Shu.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, huh. Because that was something I was trying to figure out the whole time and all the endings. Like, how do they feel towards each other? Because 90% of the time I get like platonic besties vibes. But then that other 10%, there's like some other stuff that peeks in that I'm like, is there something else here?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mostly kind of like up in the air in terms of like how you perceive it per
Mhm.
se.
I think without having his like verbal perspective, like
Yeah.
it's hard to make that call.
Yeah. I kind of had the feeling of like he either had or has feelings for her and just didn't
Mhm.
know how to like kind of come out and say it without messing up
Like
their
afraid of, yeah.
friendship. And like she just like wasn't really like someone who would pick up on those hints or anything, and wasn't like super like, I guess, in the know of like how like romance and stuff works. So like she just wasn't like super keyed in on all that sort of stuff. But I think she was also kind of the opinion of like, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea, but again, it's not something I want to like ruin our current relationship over if something were to go
Yeah.
bad.
So that's what I'm thinking. That's kind of where I've landed on it,
Mm-hmm.
is them thinking that. And because there are moments where she says things like, I wish he would see me as a woman sometimes. And there's some other things that he says too that I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
hmm. Um, but yeah, I do also kind of get the vibe of like there's comfort in their current situation. They're afraid to mess that up.
Yeah.
Which sure. Um, Unfortunately, she has another friend who's a butt and wants to push her down the stairs because of a boy. It's real messed up.
Yeah, Rinko's a bit obsessed with Shu.
A bit?
A bit.
A bit?
It was nice, at least in the true ending route, where like you kind of see like where you see like the speeches she's going to give for like the wedding and everything, and she kind of like reflects like, I was very dumb as a kid.
Yeah, yeah,
I did a lot of dumb things and thought a lot of dumb thoughts. So
yeah,
it was nice to see like how like she was kind of like understanding and like had grown up and matured
yeah.
compared to how they were as kids. So that was at least good.
That was good. I agree.
Um, I did also like at the end of the true ending when like Hinako and her Fox version of her come together and they're kind of just like, do you want to fight? Nah. Do you want to fight? Nah. And then like
No.
the evil spirits is like, oh, we're gonna make you fight. And then the idea of the boss battle, the boss fight for that one being like you are
Oh,
switching
so
back and
cool.
forth between the two, and like they flip flop between two sides of the the mirror essentially kind of deal of you
Hmm.
fighting the different bosses and everything,
That
and
was such
that
a
was
cool
really
looking boss
cool.
fight. Yeah, because there's also like the background bit of like there's two gods basically fighting over control of this town.
Mm-hmm.
One is the fox god, and the other is like a dragon.
The water dragon.
Yeah. And so like two of these two bosses symbolize those two gods. Although, um, in the Shu ending, Shu is in the body of the like version of the dragon,
The non-fox boss.
the non-fox boss, and then in the true ending, you get to fight the
The
doll
doll.
in that body. So that's funny.
Yeah, so I thought that was really well done and everything.
I love watching that fight. That was so cool.
And just interesting to see these two different versions of Hinako kind of like coming together to be like, hey, I think marriage would be okay, but if you don't think so, that's cool. And like, you know, the end of it is also just like them kind of walking around the town by themselves and just like being like, all right, well, we got time to figure things out about us, about me as a whole. We should probably do that and figure things out and work on ourselves, and then we'll get to figuring everything else out. Um,
So
although
that was the thing I had problems with in
no,
this.
no,
Is
I
like,
understand your problems with it. Of the idea of like they're in this town that still seems messed up, or like a weird version of the town that may not
and
be
they're
reality,
isolated.
and they're by themselves, and there's no one else there. Like that doesn't necessarily mean this is like a good ending per se, even though it is the true ending.
It
So
is a much better ending than most of the
yes,
endings.
100%. It's at least not left leaving you with the fact that like, oh, something terrible is gonna happen later on type deal, but it's at least a start of something maybe potentially good. Of like, here's Hideko, she's gonna work on herself. She has promise for the future, which she does not have in any of the other endings.
No, that's absolutely true.
So I think that part is at least good. But you know, again, it does leave you with the kind of unsettling nature of like they are just in this town, or if it's the actual town or a version of the town or whatever, just by themselves, and that's how they're gonna figure this out. Like that may not be potentially the greatest thing, but who knows? Question marks.
Mm,
But I do understand
my trepidation with
your
it.
trepidation with the way that ends and all that. But
I also still like she gets that really cute letter from Kodayuki about the eating the like candy snack thingy as an adult. Which was that was a cute letter, and it was him like trying to find himself a little bit too.
Yeah.
But I was like, who's delivering these letters? Is it the Speedy Men?
Yeah, they become good dudes now. They're like, they heard the letter drop off and they're like, oh, we gotta go. Run to the mailbox, pick it up, and zoom.
Ladies, are they delivering them?
No, they're the entertainment now. They're just dancing. They're dancers now.
They're dancers now.
Hurrah!
Whee! I mean, they do got that razzle dazzle.
They do
legs,
the
so.
razzle dazzle, so they're pretty good at it.
Yeah, I mean, this is by far the best of the endings.
Yeah.
And the one that actually has like character reflection that is so desperately needed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, by everybody, not just like the main two. Like everybody has reflection. Like you said, even like Rinko has the letter that she's like, "Man, I was stupid."
Yeah, like her and Sakako, you see both her and Sakako's kind of like speeches or whatever that where they're reflecting on being kids and everything. And I think there's also stuff with Shu as well. So like everyone kind of gets a little bit of a reflection on how they were and how they've grown up and all that sort of stuff, which is, again, I think for this story was much needed for sure.
Yeah, no, I super super agree. So that was all good. Even though we still had to kill all our friends and
Oops.
make her a little crispy.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit crispy.
I will say as well, I know when some of this stuff got first shown off and everything, that the combat was a point of contention for some people because they thought it was more like Souls-esque and everything. I didn't really find that to be entirely true. Like, there's a dodge and everything, but like action games have had dodges for years, so like that's just
Right.
whatever and everything.
Huh.
It was fine. I mean, we were playing it on the easiest difficulties. It wasn't like we were like doing a lot of like strategy and doing big fights and everything where we really needed to like pay attention and all that. But I think as a whole, it was just okay. It was fine. It's whatever. It wasn't like anything super great or super bad. It was just, it was all right and all that sort of stuff. Definitely not Souls-like, I would say.
Okay.
Just has a dodge. And I will say as well, we played this with the Japanese dub. And I think a lot of the acting in that was very well done. But the lady who plays Hinako, Konatsu Kato, does like an incredible job playing Hinako. Like, she really nails a lot of the emotional moments and like the confusion within Hinako and all that sort of stuff. And she has to play these different versions of Hinako as well. And I think she does a really, really good job of like mastering all those different sides of Hinako and making them show out through the screen to the player.
Yes.
And I think it's also wild as well. Like, this was her first video game role.
Really?
Which for a lot of the cast as well was like it was their first video game role.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Like, she's an actress and does like a lot of like TV and film stuff. But like, yeah, like this was her first video game thing.
Wow, impressive.
And then there's also the if you've been on the internet for a bit or since this game came out, she's also streamed some of the game, and like her reactions to some of the parts of the game are very funny.
I hope that she also yells "lady." We obviously didn't hear it, but like the dub cast is also pretty stacked.
Yeah.
Like the English dub cast is very, very good. So I imagine the dub is also incredibly good.
Yeah, I just felt like, for the time period, place, and everything, it just felt more immersive to play it in the Japanese dub. But yeah, the English dub cast looks pretty good as well, so I'm sure it's totally fine. But yeah, I think it was interesting as well. Like, I didn't think this was like a super scary game.
The ladies didn't scare you?
I mean, there was a lot of like jump scare moments, but it's easy to kind of. I was able to kind of be like, okay, yeah, whatever. I think it's also easier because I have you there to be the the aforementioned screamer who just yells at everything, so it kind of makes me just kind of more chill. And I'm just more prepped for like, oh, probably something gonna be around this corner, type deal.
Ah,
But a lot of the horror elements of this game was definitely a lot of just like psychological type deal of like, spooky things in the mind and everything around you type deal. So
which I mean, yeah, that's Silent Hill.
yeah. Um, but yeah. Here's the question coming out of this, of course.
Okay, caller, go ahead.
Do you think this makes you interested in any of Ryokishi Zeronana's other works after seeing this game and how like his or their writing style is?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they did a good job with this, so I don't see why it wouldn't be worth giving it a shot.
Yeah. Because I know those other games that they've done are like very well regarded in terms of like how people think of them and talk about them. So, I have not personally played through either of those games, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other. But again, it's one of those things where I know like the people who like those games, and we've talked about this before, of course, but the people who like those games really like those games. So,
Mhm.
I do think it would be interesting to like check one of those out after playing through this and seeing like how do things compare or how are they different in terms of like how they write and everything and their themes and all that sort of stuff.
I just looked at his Wikipedia page, and apparently his pen name is a Final Fantasy reference.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that.
It's true.
Look at him being a Final Fantasy fan.
Aren't we all?
I mean, Final Fantasy is a pretty good series, so it makes sense.
It's pretty alright.
It's pretty all right. And, I mean, it is a reference to Final Fantasy V, which has one butts in it.
Buds.
Butts.
Good old buds.
Mm-hmm. So, obviously he has good taste because he likes Final Fantasy V.
Loves the job system.
I mean, the job system was pretty good. Wow, he's a lot older than I expected. Sorry, I shouldn't say that about people. He is a lot older than I expected, though.
But yeah, that's Silent Hills F. Fun game.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed experiencing it with you.
Mm-hmm.
The doll was scary,
The doll was a real one for a while, and then it wasn't.
and then it wasn't. I told you all along it was not a real one. The doll's messed up. Um, but yeah, there were ladies.
Ladies.
There were legs.
Legs.
And there were foxes
And speedy dudes.
and speedy dudes. Sometimes, you get your arm cut off and you get branded and you get your face half cut off.
And you get a cool fox arm that you just use to attack everything afterwards.
Hiya!
Yeah, yeah.
Hiya!
So yeah, that's Silent Hill F, and that's gonna do it for us this week.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonlandcheckup.com or sec.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Jared Now Watch. You'll also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. Follow us on Blue Sky at seasonlandcheckup.com. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. Buy us a slice of pizza. Get access to unedited versions of the podcast early. Our monthly exclusive Patreon podcast. Got a new episode of that up. Listen to us talk about a movie about racing and all that. And you can also hear all of our other episodes of that where we've talked about stuff. And then there's a bunch of other bonus stuff on the Patreon as well. All worth your time and money.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, it's time to get into the first of our December big podcast, or I guess the ones that are our annual podcast, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
As it will be time for us to take a look to the future
Zura
of 2026 and beyond to give a little preview of what's going to be coming out in terms of the video games and the animes.
Mm-hmm.
We will, of course, be doing this before the Keeleys, so we will not have the announcements from that show in this episode, so just be forewarned about that. But yeah, everything else we'll have a little chit chat about and talk about what we're looking forward to in the next year and the years to come.
Years to come. Wow. You mean we get more years?
Apparently, they're just going to keep on making years.
Uh, are you gonna make the reference?
No. Are you?
They don't stop coming. Come on.